Welcome again to another in the series of Real People, Real Choices, where you have the opportunity to work on a real-life case study and choose the best solution. Today's case study is from Chapter 11 on Services Marketing. This case looks at RSVP, the leader in the online dating market in Australia, and in particular, how they can continue to grow into the future. So let's have a look at decision time at RSVP. RSVP is Australia's largest online dating service. Their website allows singles to load their profiles and to search for and contact other singles. They have an exceptionally rich database because of the information they capture on their customers and their behaviours. However, a major downside to this business is that they constantly need new members, as many members will eventually form relationships and will not have an ongoing need for this service. This makes new member acquisition one of the key goals of their marketing program. However, they have significant challenges in this regard because this requires expanding into the broader community, where some consumers have a poor perception of dating services. This attitude has been built up over many years and may be difficult to challenge. The company is looking to overcome this barrier by using a rebranding strategy, which they hope will be able to deliver consistent and quality growth into the future. Therefore, their main problem is how to achieve a consistent growth in new members, particularly in an industry where some consumers hold negative attitudes about dating services. In order to address this challenge, RSVP has identified 3 potential solutions. Option 1 would deliver the most notable change to the current service offering of RSVP. Under this proposal, the firm would conduct a significant amount of analysis and research using their database and with existing and non-members. The results would then form the basis of an overall rebranding and destigmatising strategy. In particular, they would look at the process of registration and new member acquisition, as well as adding new and improved services. This change would be supported by a new logo and visual identity, a new website design, and a new media strategy. This proposal would also carry the highest level of risk because there is a significant amount of change to a successful operation. Option 2 is the simplest and lowest risk approach. This option primarily concentrates on providing a new visual identity for RSVP. Essentially, it would involve a new logo and colour scheme and a new website design. These cosmetic changes, along with some service improvements, will give the look and feel of an overall improved service offering without the significant risk of option 1. Option 3 has a focus on the promotional activities of the firm. Again, using research and analysis, the key triggers for joining and not joining RSVP will be examined in detail. It is hoped that by having a greater understanding of consumers' perceptions and motivations, then more effective and efficient promotional campaigns designed to acquire new members can be developed. It is likely that these improved campaigns would include direct marketing, search engine marketing, sponsorships, and word-of-mouth initiatives. Now you know the 3 options. What would you decide if it was your decision? Let's have a look at the options other people would choose and why. First, we'll see a student's view, and then we'll see what an academic would do. The student selected option 3, to focus on engaging new singles with fresh marketing activities. This option is the best choice because a fresh marketing campaign should have the effect of both increasing new members and enhancing the loyalty of existing members. It is also based on a foundation of analysis using the firm's rich database to provide insights into the behaviour of their current members. The campaign should be able to progressively reposition the firm and help destigmatise the industry over time. The academic selected option 1, to improve the overall service offering and experience. She believes that this approach is stronger and more enduring in the long term, as it is a more complete solution. Also, there is a strong research basis which should uncover why memberships lapse, and additional research will help understand non-members and explore any stigma attached to the industry. Finally, she suggests that they incorporate more real-life testimonials into their member acquisition promotional campaigns. This is likely to increase word-of-mouth promotion and also assist with the destigmatisation process. Okay, let's find out what the firm did in real life. RSVP chose option 1, to revitalise the overall product experience. Options 2 and 3 were not considered suitable as they do not really improve the service for existing members. The firm wanted more than just to get more singles to visit the website. They needed them to sign up and become active and engaged. To achieve this goal, the site experience must be an impacting and positive one. This option started with a good understanding of the market, gained through database analysis and qualitative research studies. This research helped identify the positive elements of the company's visual identity, associated brand attributes, and their overall marketing position. As a result, they developed a new registration process, and their media strategy had an increased focus on how RSVP's service actually worked. This was an important educational phase and was also essential in normalising the service. The company also used media relations and a heavy PR strategy to support its advertising strategy and to assist in the challenge of destigmatising the industry. So, what happened after RSVP selected option 1? The marketing activities undertaken to improve all aspects of RSVP's service have been successful, and the company has been able to match the previous year's new membership growth rate. RSVP now tracks brand health measures using a monthly brand tracking study that looks at brand and advertising awareness. Now let's see how we can use the textbook to help us with a decision like this. In this case, a good starting point is to look at the differences between goods and services, which are outlined on page 397. The most relevant differences to RSVP are that there is variability in service delivery and that customers are involved in the production of the service. These two factors are actually interrelated. The fact that customers are involved in the production of the service, that is, interacting and meeting each other, will result in significant service variability. For instance, some encounters will be pleasant and enjoyable, whereas others will be disappointing. Therefore, the firm needs to implement strategies to continually improve this area, probably by using member education programs. The next area to review is the extended marketing mix for services, which is discussed on page 392 of the textbook. A key element in the 7 Ps of the services marketing mix is process. Process refers to the steps involved in delivering the service. Because RSVP wants new members to become active and engaged with the site, their process is important in achieving this overall goal. Another important element for RSVP is physical facilities. In this case, the firm's physical facility is actually its website. In particular, the initial impression it creates and how easy it is for consumers to become actively involved. Like most service firms, they have the goal of improving service quality, and this is probably more important for RSVP as they are the market leader. As you know from reviewing page 403 of the textbook, the consumer's perception of service quality is determined by the comparison between the service and the consumer's prior expectations. It is important to manage these expectations, particularly if they are being driven by success story testimonials. This has the risk of overinflating expectations, which will reduce RSVP's perceived service quality. What makes this a little more challenging is that services are usually more difficult to evaluate. The various search qualities are discussed on page 399. An online dating service would have experience qualities, which means that the service can really only be evaluated during or after a customer uses it. Therefore, it becomes very important that the website is structured so that potential new members can quickly become involved and engaged, and that their first experience is a positive one. Okay, let's summarise what RSVP needs to concentrate on. Firstly, this is an industry where consumers play a key role in the successful outcome of the service. This means that RSVP will need to educate members on their role and how they can get the most out of the service. The process is a key part of the service experience. This should be regularly improved in order to maximise customer satisfaction. In addition to the process, the presentation and usability of the website will be used by potential new members to assess the service offering prior to becoming a member. Therefore, any improvements in this area should enhance new member acquisitions. Managing initial expectations will be very important. This is a service that tries to meet the emotional and relationship needs of its members. It is likely that some new members may have very high expectations, particularly if testimonial advertising is utilised. This makes it very important to ensure that new members have realistic expectations. And finally, as this service can really only be evaluated by using it, there needs to be some incentives used to encourage consumers to trial the service. So which is the best option for RSVP to choose to address their challenge of growing new members and destigmatising online dating? Well, using the list of issues that we have determined from the textbook, there appears to be only one option that addresses the scope of the challenge, and that is option 1, to revitalise the overall product experience. The other two options are limited in their scope and will not provide an adequate solution to all the challenges faced by RSVP. That's another Real People, Real Choices exercise. We hope you got some value out of it, and we look forward to working on another case with you soon.